An hour? What am I supposed to do with the mad scientist for an hour?
You know, tamper in God's domain.
Of a trumpet, Jared. A
No,
trumpet,
it's not.
Or I was trying to mimic a trumpet, or potentially a tuba. For those who know
that was more like a French horn.
Okay. First of all, no. I'm going to say it was
no.
Okay, if it sounded like a French horn, I'm sorry. I meant to be a trumpet or a tuba.
A trumpet is. Oh fuck! I ain't done it in so long.
All right. That's more trumpet-like than what I was doing. The reason we are playing the trumpet is because we want to make sure that everybody had a safe 4th of July weekend here at the Mad Scientist Lab podcast.
What the fuck does a trumpet have to do with it?
I don't know. People don't take, the marching bands, with the American flag, trumpets and, little drums and all that shit.
I didn't see any of that. Yesterday.
Well, no, I'm not saying we saw that. If we did, that wouldn't surprise me, especially on, American Independence Day. However, I was just referencing trumpets because trumpets are American, even though they're probably not made in America. Anyway.
No, trumpets is far before America was created.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Most classical instruments are far before us.
This is very true. They're. Can we look up where the trumpet was invented, since we are talking about this? But to keep things rolling, it is very, very much my honor to welcome you to the 293rd episode of the Mad Scientist Lab podcast with Jared, Lee, and RJ. And our summer blockbuster movie going experience is still rolling.
Oh yeah, we're way off.
So the trumpet has a long history with origins traced back to ancient civilizations. Okay, wow. While specific locations are difficult to pinpoint, evidence suggests early trumpets were used in ancient Egypt and China around 2000 BC. Oh, okay.
And now that you read that, now that you read that, it makes sense. I thought about all the movies you watched that from Egypt when they go or fucking medieval times.
Yeah, no shit. Okay, so this is fair. So we kind of have a little backstory on the origin of the instrument known as the trumpet. But moving forward, so Jared and I went down to the local theater yesterday, and we went to the big IMAX screen and everything. And, we went to a different theater than the one we're...
Wasn't as big as I thought it was going to be, but...
the screen, it's funny you say that.
I don't think it's really that worth it.
It's funny you say that, because I want to say initially...
It's only $22, though, so that's not too bad.
Oh, no, it was fine, bro. I mean, for the movie that we saw, I thought it was great. So what we are talking about is we went and saw the F1 movie with Brad Pitt, along with I think, an excellent, well-put-together cast. So I want to start off by saying, Jared, obviously is really, really big into this stuff.
Before that,
sure.
Quick, back to the trumpet thing real quick.
Sure.
The modern trumpet basically comes from France. I figured a lot of those 19th century with the inventors that's Frederick. Wait, is that France? Maybe it's German. I don't know. Anyway, in the 19th century, the modern one is the one we have. So pretty much before. It was still before the U.S. But anyway, go ahead.
All right. So we go to see. So we see F1. And Jared talks about F1 quite a bit. He's a fan. He follows Lewis Hamilton. He's very intricate with everything that goes on with him.
Not just Lewis.
And just the big name, obviously, the one that I know off the top of my head. And just how that sport works. So going into this movie, I literally didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if I was going to like it. I think more importantly, I was afraid I wasn't going to really understand it. Honestly, just because it's oh man, I hope I don't have to be some super big buff of this.
Well, that's because you know me and how I am, and that's what So.
But still, regardless, even certain terminology or even how the races are structured, it's just oh man, I hope I'm not missing the most basic thing at the moment.
No, it was dumbed down for
yes. So
F1 for dummies.
Yeah, so F1 for dummies. However, the movie was really, really good. I really liked it.
That's the name of the episode.
F1 for dummies. Yeah, the movie was really good. I was very surprised how much I actually liked it. I liked it more than I thought I was going to. So I guess the gist of the movie is Brad Pitt is this, this old school F1 racer that unfortunately didn't make it big time because of some accident, and then he was
Don't give the whole story.
No. And then just things kind of occur to where he ends up back in the Formula One world, and it just follows a series of races, and just the way the movie explains things, you see the inside of these facilities where they design the cars, which is really cool. And I don't know how overly accurate some of that stuff is that we saw, especially when they were like in the simulators and things of that nature.
It was kind of like the wind tunnel was pretty accurate. That was actually, I think that was pretty. I'm pretty sure that was McLaren's, because that plant they were at, I'm pretty sure that's McLaren's actual factory. Can you move that mic over?
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's their actual factory, which I don't know if you heard me, but one of the is it Andor? I think it was Andor season 1. The McLaren factory was used in that also.
Okay.
Like, because they do everything in England anyway, so fucking like when you see that water, that was like, oh, that looks very familiar because it's from Drive to Survive. Like they showed the outside of it. It was like their new facility when Zach Brown came on, which Zach Brown was in the movie. That was the one that I was telling you, he was the actual team principal.
Yeah.
And then Frederick Vasseur, the Ferrari guy sitting next to him on the couch, that's the actual team principal for Ferrari also.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot of like actual people in, and they filmed during a bunch of events. So that's how you're getting all that authentic, like no CGI type shit in there.
Oh, you know what? That's actually I didn't know that, but that actually adds a level of realism. And
yeah, it took them 2 years to fucking do all that.
Well, I will say this, and since we are kind of talking about the
wait, so you thought all that shit was CGI?
No, not at all. Like I just meant like the fans and attendance and.
Oh no, that was all real.
Yeah. So like, I thought they were just stand-ins and stuff. I'm sure they are.
No, like those are actual drivers on the grid. They built the car to sit on the grid, and they would kind of carve out time, to be able to put them there.
Okay, all
right. They even had their garage on pit lane. I forgot who they were between. I think they were between Red Bull and Ferrari. So they had their actual garage, like set up.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
So everything you see, mostly everything you see was done during an event.
Oh, see, that just makes me like that movie even more now.
Yeah, now you got to go see it again and be like, oh shit.
Yeah, so wow, that was cool. That kind of blew my mind there a little bit. But since we're talking about the film and how it was shot. The gentleman that directed the movie, I can't think of his name. I can't say his name. Or I can't say his name, but I can't remember his name. But he obviously made Top Gun Maverick, directed it. And this movie is shot just as well. And then what Jared... Jared would know better than me, respectfully. And then me and Jared were talking about it last night. What made this movie really cool was when they were, out on the tracks and you got that inside perspective, that first-person point of view, as Joseph Kosinski. I was about to butcher the hell out of it.
That's the director of both Maverick and F1.
So a guy definitely has an eye for film in general. But there were shots from inside the F1 cars where it was giving you like the point of view of the driver, and Jared was telling me that those shots were actually made with iPhone cameras.
Yeah, obviously not obviously, but it's an Apple Films production. But I didn't find this out until recently. It came out on like one of those highlight things you see on social media.
Yeah,
and it was like, these are iPhone. These things they're like attached to the car to basically look like it's a part of the car, and then they put iPhone cameras in there because they did a commercial a few years ago on like, oh, you can create an entire film with the iPhone.
They did,
and they did. They had other cameras, but it's just easier. Like the way cameras are in phones nowadays, you can get the same quality.
Yeah, and it's pretty wild to that. Even a big-time director would be like, hey, let's just utilize this functionality, just something simple on a phone.
Not necessarily the director. One of the producers may have come up with that idea.
I think that's fair because you are giving credit to the right individual.
Yeah. Apple was probably like, well, we can do this shot. And yeah, they said they came up. I saw a couple of interviews that were like, yeah, we came up with Jerry Bruckheimer was one of them. He was like, we try to make this as authentic as possible. I think they did a good job. As a long time fan, it couldn't be any worse than like some camera footage from like the 90s.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah, no, 100%. So let me ask you this, man. Where would this, for you personally, where it would rank in like maybe your racing movies? Like I know you have like something like Days of Thunder. You've got
which I need to watch again.
What else? There's a couple.
I found out. I don't mean to cut you off.
Oh, you're fine.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. He does a podcast, and I saw a clip from that. He was talking about. It's funny we're talking about Tom Cruise at the same time. How he went to his dad and was trying to get his dad to play the villain in that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not. I don't want to be looked at as a villain." So he just and then it's Dale Earnhardt Jr. was like, "Well, Dad's not an actor," so
yeah,
he was like, he wouldn't have done good in there. But he said Tom Cruise as Cole Trickle did fucking a good job as like being a NASCAR driver.
Yeah, that's pretty. Dude, Tom Cruise has like this endless effect. He's like everywhere. Oh, yeah.
But that's the thing. Like you don't even think about it. He that early on, he was embedding himself into shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude, that movie's from like '93 or something.
So he was already talking to fucking actual NASCAR drivers about this shit.
Yeah, and this is like well over 30 years ago.
That's a Bruckheimer film too, isn't it?
I believe so. Here, go ahead and pull it up. And while Jared pulls it up, I will say that the movie is about 2.5 hours long. F1. Oh man, dude, that movie was sick. We encourage.
I'm going to see it again.
I encourage you guys, and here, when we were out launching fireworks last night, and I'll get to that in a minute. If you're going to take anybody's opinion from this, I know people would think, oh, you would want Jared's opinion because he's the F1 guy.
Yeah, a lot of people kept asking me.
But I will tell you, as somebody who doesn't know F1.
Days of Thunder is Jerry Bruckheimer.
Yeah, so I already know that. Yeah, he's made he's
been around forever.
Yeah, he's produced so many fucking movies,
and TV shows.
He's kind of like the man too, honestly.
Didn't he do Lost?
No, I think that's J.J. Abrams.
No, Bruckheimer is the producer. J.J. Well, yeah, I think you're right. Some TV show. Let's see what TV shows he did.
But the movie was just cool, man, and I just encourage anybody to go see it. If you don't know anything about F1, it is completely okay. You're getting this from me. You'll understand everything that's happening. They make it make sense. You can see into the world, like how it all works, which was really cool for me because I didn't realize how much intricate shit went into this. I didn't realize they had a team.
First of all,
like a massive team of like 15 people.
15
or more, like
no, bro, there's like 250 people on the team.
There's a lot of folks, all right. And it just all goes into people that are designed
you're talking about the pit crew.
Yeah, well, yes, I was
pit
referring
crews.
To the
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably about 7 or 8 people.
And it was just really neat to see all the little things that could go into helping a driver perform and win a race.
Mm-hmm.
From how fast the pit crew goes to the style of the vehicle, the aggressive.
Okay. Speaking of that part, that part where they were trying. Oh, if we get under 3 seconds as a pit stop, like that would be good. 3 seconds is slow. Like 2.9 is pretty fucking slow.
Okay.
Like I think Red Bull has the record. They're like 1.8 seconds or some shit.
Okay, are we able to pull a video of something like that up real quick?
You want me to pull a good one up?
Yeah, sure.
I saw you Mercedes a few years ago. They did a double stack.
So Jared will go ahead and pull this video up of, I guess, a vehicle going through a pit stop, getting its tire swapped out. But there was just a lot of intricate things. They were showing like how they had plans for the beginning of the race, the middle of the race, and how to end the race, the type of tires they wanted on the car, just all sorts of shit. And, they made it understandable enough to where it's like, oh, okay, I see how this, factors into the overall sport in general. There was a lot of, and I know Jared would know this better than me, but quite a few cameos from various racers in the movie, which was pretty neat. And just the whole, the story fit well. It's just a feel good movie. I liked it a lot. I again encourage everybody to go see it.
See it twice.
Yeah, go see it again, or I'll go see it again. All right, so here.
All right, hold on. I gotta pause that real quick to close all this shit.
So Jared's got this video up here, and I'll let him go ahead and kind of narrate it.
So this is 2019 Chinese Grand Prix. They haven't done China in a while because of certain things. So there's a double stack. This is when Bottas was there and Hamilton was there. I think he won the world championship. So here comes Bottas. He's the first driver in. So that's one car. And the second car comes in immediately. Tires are already ready, and boom, gone.
Damn, bro. That's insanely impressive. I don't know.
It's from one of the guys' angle.
So let me ask you, man, out of all, they all have the important role. What is the most intimidating one in that aspect in the pit stop? Do you think it's getting the tire off? Like with the...
See, that's a tough one to answer. Because you went with me to the NASCAR thing. Oh, shit, I don't want to show that one. Fucking car bursting on fire.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, we don't want to...
That's why they're not allowed to do...
shit.
Oh, this is all accidents. Well, this is Sports Center. What was I saying? Important part. That's a tough one because you have to go so fast. One person fucks up, it might fuck the whole thing up. Or will fuck the whole thing up.
Yeah, well, and there is kind of a scenario in the movie where something like that does kind of happen early on.
And those were extremely slow pit stops. They were sitting there for fucking 10 seconds. Like, bro, that's an eternity in racing.
That's an eternity. Okay, so you would say the average time for a pit stop should be what, 2.5? If the 1.8
average about 2.5.
All right, because the 1.8 was like some sort of record at the time.
Yeah, 1.1. Well, still the record. That was a few years ago. Red Bull was like 1.8. Dude, that's 1.8 something. I don't know what the number is. It's probably like 1.86 or some shit.
Yeah, that's pretty neat shit, dude. So I will say I do have a little more appreciation for it, and I hate to be the guy that's like, oh, I went to the movies and I saw it. Now I think it's kind of cool. No,
it's cool. I'll be real with you. I'm pretty sure that's the whole reason they made this movie. So people can. They're definitely gonna have a U.S. market even bigger now. It was getting big because of Drive to Survive, which, if you want to get further into it, I would suggest it's on Netflix. There's 5 seasons. Check out Drive to Survive. The first season for me was the best one, only because it was something that had never been done.
Yeah.
But then after season 2, for me, it was like I'm already watching the entire season. I know what's going on. I know all the drama. So there's no need for me to really watch it. Because Drive to Survive is more about the personalities of like the drivers and the team principals.
Yeah.
And some of the like ongoings of like the drama behind what goes on in the pits and behind the scenes as far as like contracts and stuff like that. There's a lot of drama. Like last year there was a whole lot of drama with Lewis Hamilton going to Ferrari after he signed his contract, and they said it really early in the year, which was weird. So then there was this conspiracy theory which I don't think it's a conspiracy theory, probably true, that Mercedes was kind of like not giving Lewis the best possible car.
Okay.
And it made me think about it today because he had a problem with the car, the seat sitting too far forward on the front axle. And I was thinking about it today. I was like, oh, George Russell's a tall dude. And they knew he was going to leave, so they probably developed the car to sit the way he is. Like, because he technically would sit farther back.
Okay.
But because Lewis is shorter, it puts him forward a little more.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. No, since we are talking about this, the level of intricacy that goes into designing one of these vehicles,
Oh, it's insane. That's why everybody, the lady, the one lady was like, yeah, I was a aerospace engineer, but that's where these people are coming from. These are fucking legit scientists and engineers, physicists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why people are like, well, why do you like that so much? It's just people. We had a guest say, oh, it's just people driving around in a circle, or you're just watching people drive. Like, no, man, there's far more that goes into it. That's just the end product.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the shit I like about it is the fucking science behind it.
Well, now that you can, at least the movie gives you a sense of what goes on to it, it does give me another level of appreciation for it other than it. I don't know if I will ever look at racing as other than, laps and things of that nature. However, I will say that I would put it a tier, obviously, above NASCAR in the sense of, like, just how fascinating that aspect of it is.
Well, NASCAR, they're scientists and engineers also. They say it a lot, that Formula One is the pinnacle of racing, and I believe it. 'Cause I watch a lot of other motorsports.
Yeah.
Like they have they do it around the same weekend. So not as many races, but they have this Porsche GT Cup racing, and that's interesting to watch because they're Porsches.
Yeah.
And they're basically, you could go to the dealership and buy that car and tweak it out just like they have it. There's a bunch. IndyCar I don't really watch so much anymore. I used to watch it a lot back in the day only because it came on like normal times on Sundays.
Yeah.
F1 was always hit or miss, like depending on where they were in the world.
All right.
So I would wake up and turn on ESPN or Speed TV back in the day. And it'd be like the end of the fucking race. I'm like, fuck, man, I want to fucking watch this whole goddamn race.
Yeah, missing out on things kind of sucks when, especially if you're.
That was the days of Michael Schumacher, bro.
All right.
Like that was amazing. He's got 7 world championships just like Lewis has world championships. That's why Lewis wants to get that last one. You know what I'm saying? Because he can be the best.
Quote unquote.
Yeah.
Now with the designing of the cars, and I know I'm on this a little heavy. I think it's just because it's pretty cool. This is going to sound like a silly question, but everybody has the same style of engine in these vehicles, or are they given like a few models to work with and they can enhance on that? That is kind of what I wanted to ask you yesterday, but we were just talking about a lot of stuff.
So engine style, yes, they're all the same. They're all I think it's 2.0 liter V6. The combustion engine part of it, but then they have electrical engines, and they call it a power unit. They don't call it engines because the whole thing together is a power unit.
Okay.
And without getting super deep into it, like they have ways of collecting the kinetic energy from the braking. They have ways of collecting, and it's going to change next year. Like the heat, they can collect the heat from the exhaust and make that into energy as well, so they can charge the batteries, so they can get a boost. Because if the battery is drained, then they're not gonna.
Yeah, no.
And the battery's like small, so like it'll use that energy quickly.
All right.
That being said, there's different manufacturers, and then each team can do is they can go to a customer, like they have. Mercedes is one. They produce engines that other teams can buy and put into their chassis, whatever chassis they choose. I don't know all the chassis names at the moment, or right off the top of my head, but same thing with Ferrari. Ferrari can sell engines to a team, and they can, or power units to a team, and they can put it and build their car around that as well. And there's other parts that they can do that with, like certain braking stuff.
Okay.
And just different parts can be bought from a factory. Like smaller teams, they can't afford to develop all their shit in-house, so they buy piece by piece and then build their car, and then hopefully the aero that they can design can get them to a higher level, if that makes sense.
So now that we're talking about that, there is a mention of this board committee in F1. Now let me ask you: is each team or but basically each team, do they have like a salary cap on what they're allowed to invest into a vehicle?
Yes.
Just now that I'm thinking about that,
I don't remember what it is. I want to say 250.
250 million.
But yeah.
Oh, $250 million budget.
I
Okay.
can look it up real quick. Hold on.
And what I was asking folks, and if you're just joining us here on the Mad Scientist Lab podcast, Jared and myself are discussing the F1 movie with Brad Pitt. It was super cool, man. As somebody who didn't know shit about F1, I feel a little smarter now.
140.4 million it was set at for 2025.
Okay, so that is the cap that each team is allowed to, I guess, invest into making their vehicle.
Well, if you read the definition, or not the definition, but what it says there.
Well, this cap limits the amount teams can spend on developing and running their cars, excluding certain expenses like driver salaries and the top 3 earner salaries. The cost cap was introduced to level the playing field and promote closer competition by preventing teams with larger budgets from getting an unfair advantage. Okay, so,
i.e. Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren now.
And so, okay. So I'm assuming those brands had just like endless money previously before
they still have endless money.
Well, I mean, we just could use endless money towards that stuff. Okay.
And I'm interested. I've never, like, back when I used to just watch it because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I'm interested to know, before there was a cost cap, I think teams just had to have a rich owner.
Yeah.
Like Williams Racing, they're not owned by the Williams family anymore, but they were winners, and I'm pretty sure they had money. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's all, I guess.
Oh man, it's just nifty, man. The things that people can come up with, and they were showing. Now there is some verbiage in the I wouldn't even say verbiage. I'm going to erase that thought process completely. When they were designing this car, and Brad Pitt's character was like, he wants to build it more for combat. Could you?
I didn't understand that part.
Okay, so I
think what they were trying to get at was he didn't want to have to compete with the bigger teams, which are faster on the straights.
Okay.
He wanted to beat them in the corners, which means more than likely. Okay, now it makes sense. Now that I'm talking it out, you're gonna be more likely to pass in a turn or a corner than you are gonna be on a straight.
Yeah.
Now, it depends on how your car's set up. If you're better in the turns than the other car, then yes, you're going to be battling basically combat. But on the straights, you're not going to have as high speed on the straights. Because people still pass on the straights, but that's just pure, like, my car's faster than yours.
Yeah,
because,
100%.
And if you didn't notice the DRS when they went, because I was like, wait, they keep saying DRS, which is drag reduction system.
Okay.
But they're not really explaining what it is. So then as soon as he said it, I was like, they're not telling people what DRS is. And then they cut the camera to the rear wing, and the rear wing opens.
Yeah.
That's what drag reduction system is. Obviously, if you got something blocking the wind, you're going to go a little slower than if you open it, you're going to get a little. So you get like a boost of like 10 kilometers per hour. Which is like 6 to 10 miles per hour extra.
And he was trying to use, I guess, riding up behind the vehicle.
Oh, the toe.
The toe, and just to kind of whip around them in that sense. And so I just thought it was pretty cool. And
that's getting into aerodynamics now.
Yeah, no, that much I do know. And that's why I was like, oh my God, I don't want to butcher however I'm going to try to say this. No,
which is before you go on, aerodynamics, because the power units are so like a level playing field. The aerodynamics is probably the number one thing in F1 as far as making your car better or worse.
Well, I would think so. I mean, just from even, maintaining a slight grasp of what was going on, in that reality. But I just thought the designing of the car, just the little modifications in there, and you're only talking about picking up like maybe just like a tenth of a second, and the smallest details that go into it. So I do have like a little more appreciation to see how intricate it can really be.
Now you understand why, because this brain up here is super technical.
Well, I also think that at the same time, well, no, this is just wishful thinking on my part, but it's like, hey, I wish there was always something like just out there for dummies. I mean, you got books for dummies and things, of that nature, but I just got a more understanding of how it all works.
Yeah, it's probably easier for, like, if you ask me a question and I'm explaining it, I may not be explaining it properly, or I may be, but you may need to see it in action.
Yeah, I think seeing it and visually, like, seeing how all of this stuff goes into one another, and again, just like them having plans for the start of the race, the middle of the race, swapping tires out. So let me ask you this.
Well, that's another rule, but go ahead.
What, in terms of?
You have to use 2 compounds, because there's different types of tires.
Okay.
And did they go into it? Not really. They didn't really go into it. There's different types of tires. Without getting super detailed into it, Pirelli is their tire manufacturer, and they have different compounds. So, but each race weekend, there's 3 compounds, 3 main compounds. There's the hards, the mediums, and the softs.
Okay.
And you can tell when they put them on, because the hards are white on the outside, the mediums are yellow, and the softs are red. But then, if rain comes into a factor, they have intermediates for like light rain, and then which is green, and then they have wets, full on wets, which is like your everyday road tire type tread.
Okay.
And those are blue. It's not guaranteed that those 2 are going to get used every weekend. But out of those 3, you get more grip out of the softs, but you get more durability and longevity out of the hards.
Okay, that makes sense. And that was, I think, the part where I was trying to figure out what he was doing, to kind of put the race in their favor by running the tires a little longer. Then he's like, here, now let's swap out.
See, there you go. That's race strategy, and that's a big part of it, because they have to come in for at least 1 compound change. That's where they're trying to decide, is this a 1 race stop or a 2 race stop? It depends on how long the track is, like how many curves it has, how many, like how hard it is on certain parts or certain tires. It goes, all that shit goes into it.
Let me ask you this, and I'm not giving anything away. If there were like an accident or something on the racing track, obviously the severity of the crash is going to factor into it. How safe are those cars in terms of protecting the driver?
These days, they're fucking the safest the sport has ever been.
Okay.
It's funny we're talking about it, because I remember, I've been watching racing so long that I remember when they started. There's this thing called Hans devices. I forgot who it's named after, the first person who used it or had, or I can't remember what it's named, but it's called the Hans device. And there's basically these 2 straps that is connected to the chassis of the car, and it connects to the driver's helmet. So their head can't whip around too far.
All right.
So if there was a crash, it's like it'll stop their head from going, like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's where a lot of injuries come from. And then before, if you saw at the beginning when he was in the yellow car, there was no the halo. So when they were at the driver's point of view, where you saw that bar in the middle and the thing, that's called the halo. And that is basically a roll cage. So if the car flips over, it's just above the driver's head. So if his head doesn't get smashed on the floor if he flips over.
Okay.
And then there's different like impact zones that have to break away. Because back in the day, the cars, if there was a bad wreck, like actually it showed hit when he crashed, the cars would split in half. I've seen accidents where the cars like split in half. So drivers would die. They mentioned Ayrton Senna Senna in there a couple times. He's considered one of the best F1 drivers ever, and he died on track.
Oh shit.
So like, there's a big celebration every year, especially when they go to Brazil. There's a big celebration because Senna was Brazilian. There's a whole movie on Netflix about him.
What I was gonna say, man, how I know the risks are always super high in these races, but what are you might not even know this, but what are the chances of somebody a fatal collision on the track?
Again, these days it's very, I don't want to say very unlikely. It's unlikely that someone would get severely hurt.
Okay.
Because again, thing, the way that because people were dying. Same thing in IndyCar. That's where the IndyCar uses the Honda Vice. They have a Halo version on theirs as well. Because open wheel racing they just had wheels and the fucking driver, and that was it. So yeah, these days it's very safe. Now I will say the biggest, still kind of an issue, and it happened probably 5 years ago now. A driver crashed, and then the car caught on fire, and he couldn't get out. He could barely get out.
Do you know what? I feel like I remember this.
Yeah, his hands. That's why they kind of alluded to it in the movie also. But he burned his hands, and I think he came back for like a couple races, but he didn't end up racing anywhere. He might have driven for someone else. No.
So let me ask you, the strain that the races put on your body, right?
Yeah. Well, that's part of, you see it in the movie as well.
Yeah. So this is something that I guess I factor this stuff in, but now that we saw a movie that I can kind of generally grasp it a little more. What is the average age for some of these guys driving? Do they like drive well into their like late 30s or 40s, or is that like too old for something like this?
Well, Fernando Alonso, who was in the movie, the one I told you that I saw in Austin.
Yeah.
He's the oldest. He's 43, I think.
Oh wow.
Lewis is the second oldest. He's 41. I might be mixing those up. I'm not mixing the numbers. I just don't remember the exact numbers, and I don't really feel like looking it up. But they're in their 40s. They're the oldest drivers on the grid. There's a new kid just came in. He's 18, still finishing school. Kimi Antonelli, he basically replaced Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes.
Okay.
But yeah, they can be anywhere from, I think they got to be 18 to whatever. What happens though is, as you get older, your senses kind of dull. I don't want to say dull, but like you lose your reaction time and all that. But the thing that older drivers have is experience. So, and look, that's why Lewis and Fernando, they're both world champions. So like, yeah. Why would you get rid of somebody if they fucking can still drive the shit out of your car? You know what I'm saying?
Now, I'm assuming this is obviously reality because it is alluded in the movie a little bit. If there is a team of just out there that does not eventually win a race or get on the point board, are they ultimately dismantled and then rebuilt? Or is that just something for the sake of that?
Well,
Ish,
yeah.
Okay.
Like I said with the Williams, actually that might be what they're based on, or what that situation was based on. The Williams team was owned by the Williams family, and I forgot I want to say her name's Carol, but she's in Drive to Survive, and she's one of the anyway. She used to be the owner / team principal after her dad left.
Okay.
Her dad is like in a wheelchair or whatever. Long story on that. But they weren't doing well. So they were looking for, if you don't do well, you're not getting paid like bonuses or anything from like FIA or F1. So she ended up having to look for investors. And that's the other big thing, is trying to find people to invest in the team. If you watch Drive to Survive, there's the early seasons, which with Gunter, he was the team principal for Haas. Very popular kind of guy. A lot of people know who he is. I sound like Trump on that one. So he was looking for sponsors because they didn't have enough money. And Haas is the American, well, one of the American teams. Cadillac's going to be there next year. But yeah, he was looking for sponsors throughout that show, and like so they can have money to build a car. Like you crash a car, like in the movies, like he crashed it. They crashed that car like 4 times. That's expensive as fuck to rebuild.
I would assume.
And then they have to rebuild the motherfucker overnight. If you crash it in practice one day and qualifying is the next day, they got to rebuild that motherfucker so they can be ready for qualifying the next day.
Damn, that's what if it is completely totaled? They have to build it from the ground up again.
It's never completely totaled, but I've seen some where they fucked it up and they take it back to the factory and they're picking through parts trying to figure out where everything goes. Well, it's crazy, bro.
No, I mean it's pretty wild. It's like, hey, how fast can we go before this thing, or
Well, that's the thing. They're always pushing it to the limit or seeing how far on the limit they can put the car. Dude,
that's got to be some wild adrenaline rush to be.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, dude.
A lot of these guys, they in the off season they have to be doing, like Lewis fucking skydives on a regular basis because they have to be doing something to keep that adrenaline shit going.
Yeah, that's no. I was gonna say that has to be. It's got to be some level of addiction to that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because I couldn't imagine doing that and not liking it. You know what I mean?
That and you got to remember, these guys are competitors. They're athletes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They like losing their seat. There's only 20. It'll be 22 next year, but there's only 20 to 22 seats on the grid. So you lose your job. Like your job's on the line every fucking week.
So let me ask you this: how do you get picked up by F1?
You have to usually start. A lot of them start kart drivers.
Okay.
And they're fucking 3-4 years old driving around these tracks and shit. And then they work their way up through the karting system if they're winning. And then they get maybe picked up by a team. Like shit, for instance, Mercedes has so much fucking money. They own probably same thing with Red Bull. They own a F3 team, an F2 team, and obviously an F1 team.
All right.
And I think there's F4 too, but that's more like regional, I believe. But anyway, yeah, so then you have to start working your way up through those. So like F4 or karting to like F4 or F3, then to F2, and then hopefully you do well enough in F2 that's like, okay, is there a seat available, and does a team want me on F1? So
okay,
it's very hard.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say,
and you got to be able to get a super license, which you can't get a super license without going through some of that other shit.
So I imagined it had some sort of kind of gauntlet-ish style to it, to a degree.
It's just like any other sport. Like you have to go up through the ranks.
Okay, all right. I just wasn't sure if they were just kind of looking around at circuits and
they do that.
I'm sure they do.
They got scouts. That's how Antonelli, like he didn't stay in F1 or F2 very long. I think he went straight to F2.
Okay.
Like I said, he's 18 years old. He's a fucking kid. You know what I'm saying?
Just naturally talented with it.
Oh yeah, and he's fucking good. He's driving the shit out of that car for a rookie, like 18-year-old. You know what I'm saying?
I can only imagine, man. That's got to be wild, dude. The sponsorship.
Yeah, but they're all young.
Yeah, and I would guess just from watching the movie, I already know just from, our friends going overseas, you going out of state to watch some of these races.
I want to go overseas. I don't have overseas money.
What I was going to say is that, I already know that it's like a big grand spectacle, and just kind of seeing it again just in the theater, it's like, man, this is like everybody's here for this kind of shit. You know
what
I mean?
Celebrities love it, especially nowadays. Like, fuck. Matter of fact, you know who like really loves it? Gordon Ramsay. He's a hardcore fan.
Really?
Yeah. He was actually he obviously is from England, but the races in Silverstone this weekend, and he was at practice yesterday.
Yeah.
So like, Gordon Ramsay is a huge F1 fan. He's been at those fucking races ever since I can remember.
Wow, I did not know that, dude. I'm not that I would go out of my way to,
Jeremy Clarkson's a big fan. Keanu Reeves was there today. There's a bunch of people. Oh, in Miami, the stars always come out. Vegas, same thing. Austin is not so much like celebrities, but there's people from all around the world.
Yeah, it's more of like a big turnout kind of.
Oh, yeah,
well, I mean,
yeah,
they're big turnouts regardless, but just in terms of like the general public.
Yeah.
No, but it was just really cool. I encourage you guys to go see F1 with Brad Pitt. Super, super awesome movie. You're not going to be disappointed. I liked it a lot. I'd go see it again. That's how much I liked it. All right.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to see it again.
Now, since we are talking about the movies here a little bit, we've got Superman and the Fantastic Four, and then Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, we were talking about yesterday how many fucking movies are coming out.
Yes, and which is really got me excited because I'm really digging the movie experience. But what we were slightly
it feels like it's kind of back though, doesn't it?
It does, and I was telling that to my mom when we took our little break yesterday. Mm-hmm. And we were eating, and I was like, hey, next weekend, Superman's coming out. I was like, at the end of the month, we got the Fantastic Four. Mm-hmm. And I was like,
Naked Gun.
The Naked Gun. And then just that alone, that
and
movie.
you with that fucking insane, scary bullshit.
Oh, The Conjuring. I mean, dude, those are just movies. I like those just because they have kind of cool stories to them.
Okay.
I know. It's like, what, dude? I get it. I understand.
So fucking RJ's worshiping dolls in his fucking.
I am not worshiping any. First of all, I don't know. I do have an addict. I don't know how to get into it. All right. What I was gonna say is, no, but I was talking about the popcorn bucket, the Galacticus hot.
$80. They can keep that shit.
$80, and it looks.
I'm
massive.
a Galactus fan, bro. But
dude,
fuck that.
Dude, that thing is huge. It's gonna be like this in your hands. It's gonna be like, dude, it's like
okay,
that.
now you're fucking making me want to get it,
dude. If you want to,
I wanted the fucking helmet. I didn't see the helmet for F1 though.
Maybe we should go back and ask.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go watch it again.
I'll do a solo with you, dude. If you want to go half on the Galactus bucket, I'll do it.
Oh yeah, we could put it here.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know where we're gonna put it at.
Dude, the joint's like this big, bro. It's like a helmet. Dude, I saw a comment that said
let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, somebody made a comment. They were like, as long as I can wear it, I'll buy it. And
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would be cool. Let's see. No, that's Powell Development Group, Galactic Company.
I've been giving people fucking free.
No, but going to the movies again is like, I'm super hyped for it. Okay. So
yeah, you forgot to talk about how you saw that you feel like the movies are back.
Oh, yeah. So we're eating dinner and everything, and I just told my mom, I was like, hey, there's like 4 movies coming out in the next month. I was like, the theater was kind of packed. It was 4th of July. Look at that thing, man. They want $80 for this.
Hold on, people can't see it.
Okay.
Trying to make sure all that fucking bullshit is off.
Oh, yeah, we don't want to give free advertisements out there for anybody that doesn't support the Mad Scientist Lab podcast, which you should always support, your local podcast providers. Okay. So this thing looks, I want to know how actually big it is. Does it give?
It says 20 inches wide.
20 inches wide. So
it says it down there.
20 inches wide. Oh, my God. Look at that thing.
That's just I kind of...
Dude, we're going to have to get one. We're going to go half. It's $40, dude. It's a popcorn
well,
bucket.
It's technically $20 for me because you owe me 20 for the fucking movie yesterday.
Oh, my God. All right. This is true. I didn't think about
Unless you
that.
want to pay for the fucking Jurassic Park when we do that. I don't know when we're going to do it. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know.
Whatever you guys want to do, brother. What I was going to say.
Guys, it's just me and you, motherfucker.
His eyes light up?
Nah, ain't no way.
Hold on.
It's just huge, bro.
I want to know what that...
Oh, they do light up.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to get that thing.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, we're going to have to buy that.
Damn it.
We're going to super nerd out. And
you know what? The only thing about Galactus, I wish he was fucking, like, melanin.
I mean, shit, dude. But look at that.
That's just crazy. Fucking so excited.
Yeah, no, it's going to be dope. We might have to go to, like, the midnight release or some shit.
Yeah, I'm going to have to figure something out.
Yeah,
I think it looks really good, man. I like the other Fantastic Fours. I was kind of excited for the first one with Jessica Alba, but it didn't turn out well.
No, those movies were okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
but that was when comic book movies were all okay. Even the first Hulk was okay.
Yeah, no, they were.
I think Spider-Man was the only good one around. Well,
maybe that and the original X-Men movie.
Oh yeah. Can't forget about X-Men.
But No, but they were kind of finding their niche. I don't think until Iron Man really came out till it really just blew up, and it's just like
Iron Man fucking murdered everything.
I might go back and just rewatch like 30 Marvel movies to
I've done it already.
Just to ease my woes, respectfully.
I rewatched before, I forgot, before something came out a couple years ago. I rewatched all the Avengers stuff.
So
I think it was Endgame.
And when we were at the movies yesterday, we were with two of our friends. Shout out to Paul and Christina.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Before I lose this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I told you I was having a discussion with one of our former guests, Sean, and I was telling him about Thunderbolts. How I thought it was a good movie, and he was like, "Oh, you mean the new Avengers?" And he got all upset because they call them the new Avengers. I'm like, in the comic book universe, that's an actual group. They're not the Thor and the ones you remember. They're new because they're the new Avengers. They're not the same Avengers that you are fucking nutting to all the time.
Jesus.
Yeah. So I couldn't get him to understand is like this. Why are you being so like? I don't know. I guess
anti-Avenger.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's a comfort thing. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
It's weird. I mean, bro, it doesn't have to be. I don't know. I'm in it for the stories. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's always.
These people are always. They always have some kind of agenda attached to it.
Who, me? No, I just
not you. I'm just saying people in general with some of it, like, oh, why is it the new Avengers? And I don't know. And again, I will say that I like Ironheart. I don't care what nobody says. Ironheart was good. Yes, it was a black show, but can we not have black shows that are superheroes?
No, I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no. No, I think no. Do you know what it is, man? Is people are just so fucking fickle too. Like fans in general, either Star Wars, comic books, wrestling, just all the things that you hold near and dear to your childhood to some degree. Everybody like overanalyzes it sometimes. Put it this way: if the story is good and it makes sense and it's engaging, that ultimately is like always going to be my biggest thing with watching. I think fucking anything. But I also got to know what I'm watching too. It's like if we went to go see like Transformers or something like that, it's like, okay, we're going to go see giant robots beat the shit out of each other. However, let it make a little bit of sense and keep me invested in to see is why these giant robots are beating the shit out of each other. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need, The Godfather every film or just some technically written masterpiece.
See, that was the other thing. Well, you haven't seen it, so you're not going to really have an opinion on it. He said he didn't like Sinners. He said it was okay. I was like, what the fuck is
I
wrong
would
with
say...
Granted, I was talking through the whole thing, but I was drunk, so...
that could maybe play effect. I would say the general consensus from the people I know, other than yourself, that have seen that movie, they really liked it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, though, with the... I don't want to lose my train of thought. Oh, fart, poop, fart. Damn it. I can't believe that just happened.
Well,
I'm so sorry, folks.
It happens to me all the time.
I did not mean to do that. I was doing pretty good today, and now I'm not.
Oh, yeah, the fucking CBD drink kicked in.
No, I like these things.
I know you do.
Oh, these things are awesome. One a day keeps the doctor away, is what I tell myself. Well, you go to the doctor, folks. Please get checked all the time.
I need to do that because I had the fucking worst headache yesterday. I think it was because of the fucking fireworks.
You don't randomly think you might need glasses or something, do you?
No, bro.
Oh, okay.
It was not my eyes.
Okay. I was curious. I was going to have you come over one day and just got like these giant bifocals on or something like that.
No, I generally have pretty good eyesight. I think I got my father's eyes.
I got you.
My mom been wearing glasses forever.
Luckily, I'm not even going to say anything right now. So what I was going to say, with just going back to the movies, seeing everything, fans being fickle, you got to know what you're going to go see. Like it's just like the Conjuring movie. You're like, oh, RJ, I would never watch that, and I wouldn't expect you to. But I know that movie's going to fill in the little story void that started in the other movies that I found relatively interesting. It's probably got some shit that's going to make me go, ugh, you know, like that I don't like.
Well, Vera Farmiga's in there. That's the only plus.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that's always a plus. I would agree with that. But
You don't even know who I'm talking about.
the chick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, duh. Yeah, but anyway. So I just think when people like certain things, like story-wise, it's hard for them to, when it's finally like over and they try to expand, it's hard to kind of let go of to that initial story, so to speak, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, but
it's like I'll use Harry Potter as an example. Not that you like it, but there are certain things outside of the original 7 books that are pretty well acclaimed, but I've personally never seen because I don't really have any interest going any further than the original source material. Not to say that this stuff isn't good or anything, but I just don't have any, I guess, the urge or the want to go out and, you know, view it for myself. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I'll just shut the hell up.
maybe you should.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you were saying something about who we went to the movies with.
Oh, yeah. Just wanted to give a shout out to Christina and Paul. It's always nice to see friends at the movies. And then we took the picture in front of the thing, and then they made the little AI video of me last night being dragged away by the cop. I was like, holy shit, that's kind of cool. It's pretty wild what AI is doing, dude.
That was the first time you didn't see the one where we had all the brown people taken away.
I did, but do you know what? I'm gonna sound silly, bro. I saw it super late at night. I thought somebody was just dressed in there. I thought it was part of your gig, like part of your. And then when I saw it yesterday, when I saw it to me, I realized it was an AI video. I was like, oh my god, dude. And then I thought of your video, and I literally thought somebody in the audience was dressed, and it was just part of your guys' bit. But then I started looking at it, and I was just, this is crazy how
I like it because when she showed me that, I was like, oh man, the things I could do for like promotion on this shit. I don't know. It makes me think. Like I'm not so much against AI. I'm not a fan of AI video because they can do some wild shit, but you can also tell right now you can tell if you know what to look for. But in like 5 years, we won't be able to tell.
It's funny you bring this up. I have somebody I work with who told me this crazy fucking story. So they know somebody, I guess in their personal life that was talking to somebody on some dating site, for a while, like, having conversation, the whole nine. And it turns out that this was a completely different person using like a face from some Russian model on the other side of the world, creating like AI generated videos for this person. And the guy thought it was real. And I guess they became concerned of some of his behavior and how involved he was getting with said individual or whatever was going on.
Oh, you about to send some money.
And they were like, they started doing all this investigative digging, and come to find out it's some random woman in the middle of Timbuktu doing this to him at night when her husband's fucking at work, and she was just doing it because she was bored.
Wow.
It's crazy.
And the fact that she knew how to do it is
the other and so my coworker was telling me the story for like a good 20 minutes, and I was sitting there and I was like, oh my God. I was like, one of the reasons I don't go on dating sites, fuck that. But two, it's just like that's how crazy AI has become. I don't know. I didn't see any of these photos or anything like that, so I don't know how real it looked. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I would say a relatively grown adult who I would think be just a regular everyday person would have some sense of something going on, incorrectly.
Summer Gold, thanks for the follow on Kick.
And it just it's nuts to me. It was a crazy story that she told me, but it just shows you what AI and how it's being used in the wrong ways, unfortunately. To mislead people or to make people, just put false information out there. It's just crazy to me. But I just thought the story itself was wild.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking wild.
That's fucking nuts, dude. Yeah, I mean, just because we were talking about AI and everything. But I want to talk about fireworks for just a minute. We went out last night, the 4th of July. Went down the street.
RJ got scared.
Nah, I did not get scared.
Yeah, oh, he got scared. He can watch The Conjuring, but he can't fucking watch a random firework explode.
Explode on the ground in a tube against, a bunch of other fireworks that were already somewhat exploded. So we go out to watch fireworks last night like most people do on the 4th of July. Go out to a neighborhood down the street, get up with a few friends, and they have the whole neighborhood out there in the big cul-de-sac area. You've got kids out there with sparklers. You've got the little fizzy things going off. You got Dan, shout out to Dan, who was telling us how great his neighborhood was.
3 seats to the win. Shout out to Dan.
What up, Dan? Hopefully you're recovering today. I know that's probably what's happening. But there was a group of guys who turns out we knew one of them who was setting off the infamous 4th of July firework known as the mortar shell. The ones that blow like 120 feet in the air and explode into all sorts of colors. So we get a lot of these last night, which was really cool, real pretty. It's always nice to see some. But at one point in time, they drop a mortar into the tube, and this fucking thing just blows up in the tube. It scares the shit out of me.
That shit was fun. I'm standing there. I didn't see it actually happen, but like,
neither did I, and I think that's why I got up.
I saw it like kind of out of the corner of my eye, and I'm just standing there, and everybody else like fucking runs off, and I'm just standing there like, oh. And I look at Serena, and she's walking back. And she just like, do.
Dude, she was like right next to it when
I
it blew up. Dude.
She just kept walking. I'm like, okay.
No, dude, the way that thing blew up, I thought somebody lost a leg. I'm serious. I was like, there's a crater in the parking lot.
If they were close enough, they might have.
Holy shit, dude. So,
well, the only thing is, it's only paper. If there was like shit in there, like beads or like buckshot or some shit,
yeah,
then you got a problem. But that's mostly paper and concussion.
Yes, it's just scared the shit out of me. Mortar 2.
This motherfucker jumped up like he was fucking, I don't know.
Dude, I heard the boom and I was ready to go. I was out of there, bro.
You know the crazy part? I've been next to so many booms. Like, I talk about it all the time. I was in artillery. I'd be standing next to the fucking muzzle brake and not even knowing it's about to go off because I'm doing something else or I can't get to my hand, my fingers to my ears quick enough. I've been around it, a lot of concussive fucking explosions.
Baka-boom.
And that was nothing. That wasn't shit.
I understand that. I'm not trying to compare that tiny-ass mortar shell to what you launch at a flying, object.
150 millimeter fucking, well, shit. The copperheads were fucking big, man. The copperhead, okay, so there's this shell. It's called a copperhead. It's laser-guided, high explosive thing, and it's got fins on it and everything. It goes like 19 miles or some shit.
Like after you launch it?
Yeah, it can go up to 19 miles.
That's kind of wild, bro. That shit could get to Woodbridge.
Yeah, you can put a fucking the biggest charge, which is a Super 8. It's like a solid stick of fucking gunpowder.
All right,
like solid, and it's wrapped in this paper or whatever. And then you put the copperhead in there, and the copperhead is probably as long as this desk. And it has a laser.
I would think that'd be much louder than a fucking mortar shell, dude.
Oh no! Well, that's just to take the motherfucker off. That's to get it out. Then once it gets down there, it's a big boom.
I believe it, dude. Earth probably fucking moves.
Oh, 100%.
That shit is crazy. No, but it just reminded me of obviously getting up and running because I've unfortunately seen fireworks go haywire before myself. But it just kind of reminded me of, and as we were kind of looking around, how kind of careless some people can be about lighting.
Oh, they don't know what the fuck. A lot of people that specifically out there don't know what the fuck they're doing.
And it made me realize and to appreciate that at least in my family,
the fact that there was a fire that started like.
How does that happen?
Well, why are you putting fucking warm fireworks in a fucking bag? Like, what the fuck are we talking about right now?
Yeah, so there was a little bit of a bag fire going on last night.
And everybody's looking at it like, what do we do?
Nobody had any water. There was like 80 people outside. Not 1 ounce of water to be found.
This one lady came over. She had something and she tried to pour something and she missed the whole fucking thing. I'm like, you just wasted the little water you had.
We weren't wasting our fucking beer.
I thought about it for a second. I was like, I don't want to waste a beer on this.
No, that's dude, and the thing is this fire was in this bag fire, okay, was happening like next to a car too, like not far from it.
Oh yeah, I was waiting for that car to go up.
Dude, that would have, oh my God, bro. but no, it really, after seeing that, because when I do fireworks on the 4th of July, you do it with your family and maybe some of the kids in the neighborhood. But now
it depends on if you got the big ones. Everybody's coming.
Oh yeah, no. But if you have the big ones, so we were out there being spectators last night. We weren't the ones lighting them. So if we were lighting them, I'd feel a little different.
Yeah.
However,
first of all, I wouldn't have. I would have had some kind of platform built. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how I would do it, but some kind of platform, and I would screw those tubes.
Yeah, that's
into whatever the platform, like some kind of plywood or some shit.
Yeah, that's what we used to do when I was a kid.
Yeah, these motherfuckers just put it on the ground. I'm like, if one of those tips over, it's hitting somebody.
Yes.
And I was like, what are we doing right now?
And it just really opened my eyes because I've never really been around I have been around large groups of people in fireworks, but it's people lighting so many at one time in their own space.
Yeah, it was kind of chaos.
And I was thinking, like, man,
it was cool, but it was kind of chaos.
I was like, some of these people don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it showed, again, a la bag fire. That
especially if you light one of those fucking legal ones from our state, you light one of those motherfuckers, you don't have to run like like you're about to fucking get bombed. Like, just walk away.
Yeah.
Because all it's gonna do is
yeah, and then you're just like,
now if you got mortars is a little different.
Mortars are fucking the best. So
oh yeah. And especially if you got bigger ones than those ones. I like the cakes, man. The cakes are my favorite.
The what I was gonna say is, so since we're talking about the recklessness of some people in how they use their fireworks, my sister was here in our neighborhood, over in the parking lot with pretty much all the kids and the families that came out. And while we were spectating, I told you that somebody in the neighborhood, a tube or something fell over, started firing towards all the kids. Yes, my sister's got it on video.
I'm laughing, but I want to see that.
Dude, it's on video. I'll send it to you. You hear my sister go, "Oh shit!" It tips over. You see the sparks flying out. And then apparently a tree caught on fire. Okay, so somebody had a fire extinguisher. Kudos to that person for being prepared. Mm-hmm. You never know with this stuff. You really don't. You don't know if you're going to light one and it's going to be a dud or if it's going to be delayed. I've had that happen before.
That's the thing. Like, you think a dud is like, oh, well, if it doesn't go off, then you have to fucking sit there and wait. You can probably move to the other tubes or something, but like, oh, God, bro.
Yeah. If it doesn't go off, I don't want to go near it. It might go off randomly.
And I'm not going to look over it. I'm going to fucking, let me see, kind of figure out what's going on.
Just stick your whole face over the tube, dude. Hey, I think it.
Yeah, that's you're fucked if that happens. Oof.
Oh, yeah, that's instantaneous painage right there.
Yeah, painage, motherfucker. If it hits you in the face, it's probably not going to go any farther away. It's going to fucking land right below you.
Yeah.
And then fucking
blow up. Oh, man, nah, absolutely not. So I brought that up to say this. I love looking at the fireworks, but please, folks, you got to be careful. Yeah. You don't want bag fires.
Safety first.
Yeah, you got to be safe with that shit.
I was even thinking, I was like, bro, next time I do this, because I hit up our buddy Big Little Dave. I was like, hey, man, next year we got to fucking run it back. Because I don't know if I told you about that year. We spent like $1,500.
Yeah, $1,500, dude.
Went to south of the border to get all these fucking fireworks, and we had a blast shooting them off, but I was like, we got to run it back next year because this is what I'm looking at right now. I took a picture of it. Yeah. He was like, yeah, mine was pretty weak over here too.
Yeah, so no, see, just get you motivated to go blow more shit up. But I am glad that we got to go see somewhere. Because
I thought you were gonna fucking have a fucking hissy fit if you didn't see no fucking fireworks.
Oh, dude, I got to see a couple, dude. I got to see a couple.
This motherfucker was, I don't know. I can't park this. He couldn't park his parallel.
I can't parallel park.
Yeah, but then you got mad.
I didn't get mad. I didn't get mad.
I'm doing this shit.
Well, I just realized that I couldn't do it. Or I didn't want to do it, or I could do it, but I couldn't do it with, especially Dan. How he was just standing there.
I wasn't even.
We love
looking.
You, Dan.
I was like, bro, he's got to pull there. Oh, you could just pull right in.
Didn't he tell you to pull forward like 20 feet and you didn't have to?
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, my neighbor's telling me blah blah blah." I'm like, I wasn't that close. Y'all were yelling. No, he yelled that I knew how far away I was.
Yeah.
Whatever. It is
Well,
what it
I'm
is.
glad we got to see fireworks. And before I wrap up the 4th of July talk,
Speaking of the, well, I don't want to say the devil, but speaking of, she was like, "Your car is so little." Wee Wee is here.
oh, what's up?
Your car is so little though. I parallel park my truck all the time.
Nah,
your fire truck.
Yeah, I can never. It's nothing I've ever been good at. It's like the one driving quality I do not. I've done it like 3 times ever, and that's it.
That's crazy to me. Well, I guess that is.
Well, I can do it, but I can only do it if I feel I have enough space. Like last night, I felt I had enough space, but I don't know. People were watching. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know how to really describe it.
People were watching. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like one of those things. I'm not confident in
Okay,
doing it
so-
yet, so I
so-
don't like people watching me do it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, but if you don't do it, you'll
What
never.
if I hit a car? Then I'm gonna look like an idiot.
If you don't do it, you'll never learn.
Well,
and
I'll
the
do it.
fact that you're 36 years old, you never parallel park.
I've done it 3 times.
That's
maybe
crazy.
4.
I used to drive to DC every day. I parked every day.
It's like one of the only places I don't like driving to. Not for the fact that you can't parallel park.
I mean, I don't like driving to DC, especially with
well,
my
you can't,
car
like,
because
you can't turn anywhere. It's just like keep going.
You can turn plenty of places.
Nah,
I
it's
just
just
don't
out
like
my
going
head.
because the streets are fucked, and I don't want fucking my wheels up.
Well, and I also, depending on where you park, I don't want to pay for parking either. That shit's a pain.
Oh,
in
yeah,
the ass,
paying
dude.
for parking
Yeah,
is
dude.
crazy.
I went down to like a year ago. I went down to the wharf to see a friend and found a building like right there. $40. I was there for
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, I think
I was there like an hour and a half.
I think
was
you
like,
told
what
me
the fuck?
about that.
Shit, I even knew when I pulled up to the guy, he was sweating his ass off. I was like, he's about to ask me for a lot of money. No, but and he did, and I gave it to him.
The wharf is trash now.
Oh, that was like the first time I had been down there in forever, and it was cool. I
It's
had
all
a good time.
bougie and shit like that. And half the food is, I guess it's supposed to be seafood mostly, but
They had all sorts. I can't remember what I had, but we had all sorts of seafood. We had oysters and shit like that. Yeah, no, not that I eat that shit. No,
I'm good.
absolutely not.
I do not eat oysters.
I got like a burger or something. I got like something like relatively like normal. I didn't get anything that like lived or was living, I should say.
Yeah, I've been down there a couple of times. I didn't like it. I miss it when you had all the fucking you just go to buy seafood and then you roll the fuck out. I don't want to go down there to schmooze and shit.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, but I guess to wrap up like the 4th of July talk, I was going to say, so when do you like stop doing when do you call it quits for burgers and dogs? Because the only reason I bring it up,
Motherfucker, you kept bringing up burgers and dogs. I was like, do you ever put anything on the grill besides burgers and dogs?
Oh, yeah, sometimes we do steak, but that's about it. But what I was going to say is Thursday, at work, they get the grill out. It's like, hey, we're doing burgers and dogs for the 4th of July. It's like, hey, no problem. So you go over.
Bring some chicken, motherfucker.
They do actually, I am going to actually tell them to do that the next time they bring the grill out. That would be great. Anyway, they had, the burgers and dogs, and it's like, all right. And, I'm happy about it. I eat my plate and get whatever. And it's like, damn, I'm going to be eating this shit tomorrow, too. I mean, most people do, get the grill going. And I ate enough to where I went comatose for a little while. Then I get up today, right? And there's a little bit of leftover. And it's like, do I continue this or do I just say, no, 2 days of this is enough? And I said 2 days of it was enough. And
you ate far more than I would. I would tell you, I'll be real with you. I kind of had this epiphany recently. I'm over burgers in general. Because everybody has a burger. Oh, this is our signature burger. And like, burgers are burgers at this point.
yeah, and I understand that.
I've had every combination probably that I would like to taste.
I did have a black pepper burger, which was really good.
That's a fucking ground beef.
I'm just saying.
It sounds boring.
Well, I enjoyed it.
A burger is a burger.
All right. Well, I was just asking.
And hot dogs, I don't really. Only reason I eat hot dogs at the movie theater is because probably I haven't had anything and I just need something.
Yeah, dude. No, eating
And
hot
that's the
dogs-
only protein they're gonna have at the fucking movie theater.
No, I don't eat those regularly. That is more of like a summertime or a ballpark thing for me.
I don't even do it at ballparks.
But no, not so much. When I was a kid, yeah, obviously, but no, I don't know. That's like a summertime or a ballpark thing for me. Typically now, as I've gotten older, it's like, hey, you want hot dog? It's like, well, it's got to be maybe like 80 degrees outside. And I got to be in the mood for it. And I'll have 2, maybe 3.
80 degrees when I tell it, trick, please. Raise up off these NUTs because you get none of these. At ease. As I mob with the dog pound, feel the breeze. Bitch.
So I just wanted to bring that up. And yeah. So anybody out there, if you burgered and dogged it, how long do you do it for? Let me know in the comments below. Or in general, if you see me. Shit. That's all I got to say about that. You know, do you know what is something that I am going to be watching probably tonight and tomorrow, though? The 40th anniversary of Back to the Future was just a few days ago.
Oh, nice.
And I think it would be the appropriate time to just kind of go back and see the journey of Doc and Marty go through, you know,
Great Scott!
time itself. Those movies are timeless, bro. Like, literally. And you think about it, that movie's 40 years old. It's just magical. It's like, it's literally magical. I don't know how else to put it. Like, when I watch Back to the Future, I'm like in my own little bubble. I don't know how to.
They got that Goodyear commercial now that's Back to the Future.
And I'm glad that they did that. I'm just, it is like.
1.21 gigawatts.
Here, let me ask you this. And you might already think this, but would
Damn
you,
it, you're going to make me watch this fucking movie tonight.
No, I'm going to have to. Now that you played the music, too, it's like stuck in my head. Great Scott. What I was going to say, can we say definitively that it is one of the greatest trilogies in movies? And I know that's
I think we've talked about that before. I think we said that.
Because I thought about it the other day, and I was like, have I really mentioned that point to it?
I'll be really honest with you. The third one, I'm not that in on. I like it just because it's Back to the Future, but it's just, I don't know.
The Old West setting?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I know it's not nearly as memorable as the first two.
Yeah.
But that's where I was going to kind of get into the argument of if it belongs in. Since we revere the original two so much, do we, and it is essentially a trilogy, there's only those 3 movies, can we, arguably say, like, it belongs up there with Lord of the Rings?
I knew you were going to say Lord of the Rings.
I mean, it's
above Lord of the Rings, easy.
I mean, I'm not going to, like... I'm going to put those in there.
There's not even a challenge.
I'm going to put those in their own separate category.
There's not even a. Well, you brought it up and put them together. So,
well, think of another like perfect trilogy though. Maybe the original Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah, again, higher than fucking Lord of the Rings.
Well, yeah, I won't disagree with you on that. We can't even really say The Godfather because the third one it doesn't exist. It's. I don't know how I feel about that movie.
Trilogies,
it's hard because
I don't think you can strike lightning 3 times or have a lightning strike 3 times.
No, and I think that's fair.
2 is hard enough. Like you said, Godfather 2 is probably arguably better than 1.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, with Back to the Future, the third one is...
Yeah, so I just wanted to bring that up just because I know we love those movies so much, and I think it's time for a good old-fashioned watch.
Manure.
McFly! What I was going to say is, and I was telling you this last night since we're on the subject of movies, is I watched this old movie called Airport. It's from 19...
Yeah, you told me this.
Yeah, it's like Dean Martin, just a bunch of old time. And for some reason, I don't know what drew me to watch this movie. I don't know if it was just the older aesthetic of it, like the production of it.
Sometimes you need an older movie. I watched French Connection recently. Well, actually, after Gene Hackman died. But sometimes you just need an old movie.
Yeah, and I watched it, and it was really good, dude. And what really kind of, I don't want to say blew my mind, but made me think, man, dude, people aren't, the way people think isn't too far off from that day and age to even currently now. Just some of the things that occurred in the movie. There's a guy on the plane who's got a bomb. He thinks he can help his family by collecting insurance money, and they're trying to talk him out of it. And
I may have seen that movie.
It's older, but I just really enjoyed it. So if you're gonna go watch, because on Netflix right now, for some reason, there's a lot of Alfred Hitchcock things on there. And there's The Man Who Knew Too Little. What else? Rear Window. Just things of various nature. It would be not.
I know.
No. Yeah, 1970. For some reason, I want to say 1968.
Yeah, you kept saying 68.
I don't know why the fuck I was saying 68.
It's like a fake Con Air to me.
No. No. Con Air is in a class and a league of its own, and we all know it. And if you don't think so, I am sorry for yourself. Yeah, it's just a good movie. I enjoyed it, and I think I don't know, what do they give it? Let's see, it's not very well reviewed.
Yeah, probably for a reason.
No, dude, this movie was good. I can.
I mean, that's 75%. That's about right. You gotta remember, some of these people who are,
yeah, some of these could be like review bomb too from like modern audiences. I would think for the time it came out.
Not review bomb, but like modern audience will probably see it and they probably be like, "Oh, this is an old movie."
Yeah, so I would think for the time it came out, I would think it would be super stellar.
Probably.
Yeah, I think it's really good. So, and then apparently there's an Airport 75, and then there's like a 76 or something like that, which I might watch if I'm in the mood to see if that is. I'm sure they're not continuations by any means.
The lightning won't strike twice, but
No, I doubt it. Dude, it's a movie from.
My personal favorite is Passenger 57.
Dude, with Wesley Snipes?
Yep.
Oh, dude, that movie's fucking awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Dude, I was watching.
Always bet on black.
I was going to say, you know what a really good movie is of his Drop Zone. I was watching that not too long ago.
Did I see that?
That's the one where he's like with the parachute team and everything.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that one.
I like that one a lot. It's got a really cool 90s soundtrack to it. It's got such a 90s vibe to it.
Well,
I love
it.
it.
It was in the 90s. So,
I mean, duh.
what are you saying, man?
What do I say? What do I say?
Please don't sing.
Yeah, I'm not going to sing. I'm not going to do that. But I am going to briefly talk about Clear Obscure Expedition 33, since we're talking.
Emotional damage.
That game will cause a lot of it. I can guarantee you that. I guess before we wrap the show up, I wanted to kind of go into, since I'm completely done with Diablo, blessed everything that is good in gaming, I decided to hop into the game that everybody's kind of been talking about. Jared told me that one of the streamers he watches was playing it, which is Clear Obscure Expedition 33. Okay. Now, I'm going to be very brief on this because I feel like I'll give everything away about the game if I talk more and more about it. It's a game that is being revered by audiences. It's well reviewed. They're saying it's a potential Game of the Year candidate, and it's on Game Pass. So I downloaded it, and I'm like, here, let me check this out. You start off in this town called Lumiere, okay, and you are awaiting something called the Gommage, which happens every year, and it is caused by a woman called the Paintress, and she sits all the way out in the ocean on this gigantic monolith, and she paints a number. The number is in reference to the age of the people, of some of the people that live in that town, and when that number is written or painted, those people vanish. They die in what is known as the Gommage, okay? I know it sounds fucking crazy. It is. But your goal is to find the Paintress and stop her, and that's all I'm going to say about the game. But in terms of the story, but in terms of the gameplay, the graphics, the music, and everything, this game was made by 30 people. It is fucking incredible. So I just encourage any gamer out there, if you're not into this kind of stuff, I highly suggest you play it anyway.
Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
It's awesome, bro. It's fucking got a wicked-ass story to it. I loved it. I thought it was great. So I think it deserves all the praise that it's been getting. And I'm going to stop it there.
Thank God.
And we're going to stop it here.
He was a fat Faison liar.
And it's always a perfect reminder you can catch us anywhere you get your podcasts. That is Apple Music, Spotify, all that good stuff. Every Monday at 9 a.m. sharp for the visual on YouTube. And every Saturday around 6:30 p.m.-ish here on Twitch.
And Kick.
And Kick, yes. Streaming simulcast kind of going on with that. But please make sure you always like, share, comment, subscribe, and review.
Peace.
An hour? What am I supposed to do with the mad scientist for an hour?
You know, tamper in God's domain.
Oh, yeah.
Hit you so hard you won't see nothing. Ever, 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 ever.
Audio skulls all day.
The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab.
You can't have an opinion on something that you haven't even tried.
Exactly.
The merit scientist lab.